Am I the a-hole for not allowing my parents back into my life after they treated me horribly as a child? 24F, don't think I've ever had what most people would consider a normal childhood. I was the oldest of 5 kids, and from the moment I was old enough to understand anything, I knew I wasn't wanted. Not just in the vague. Maybe they wished they waited a bit longer no, I was literally an accident. My parents told me I was conceived in a strip club in Brooklyn while they were high. That was their favorite joke, actually. They'd laugh about it like it was some kind of hilarious origin story. But it wasn't funny to me. It was just proof that I had never been part of a plan, never part of their dreams. I didn't grow up with love. I grew up with indifference and neglect. I wasn't abused in the way that leaves bruises on your skin. I was abused in the way that leaves scars on your soul. My parents were too busy with my younger siblings, the ones they wanted, the ones they planned, to even acknowledge me unless they were insulting me or assigning blame. My dad used to say things like, "Suck it up. Get used to it," whenever I cried or asked for help.
Why?
Because, in his words, you weren't even supposed to be here anyway. They poured attention, praise, and resources into my siblings, encouraging them to chase dreams, go to school, pursue careers. But me? They said I was too dumb for college, that I'd be lucky if anyone ever loved me. My mom once told me, straight to my face, "I hope our bloodline doesn't go through you." That one still rings in my ears on bad days. I spent my childhood being the built-in babysitter, the extra set of hands, the emotional punching bag. There was no affection, no birthdays that felt special, no warm hugs or bedtime stories. Just survival. Honestly, I used to wish they had just aborted me. At least that way, I wouldn't have had to live through years of being told, directly and indirectly, that I was a mistake. But I'm not one to stay broken forever. At 16, I got my first job and started saving every penny. I knew my parents wouldn't give me a cent for college, but I had a secret weapon: my grandparents. My dad's parents had always been kind to me. They saw through the mess, and when they heard about my plans for college, they offered to help pay tuition if I could handle the rest. So I kept saving, planning, dreaming. At 19, I left. Packed up my stuff, moved out, and never looked back. I cut ties with everyone, except my grandparents. They were the only ones who truly stood by me, and they respected my decision to go no contact with my parents. They promised not to share anything about me, where I lived, what I was doing, nothing. Since then, I've built a life I'm truly proud of. I graduated with a master's degree in cybersecurity management from Georgia State University. I bought a 2-story house. I'm in a healthy, loving relationship with an amazing man who treats me the way I always wished my family would. And now, I'm 6 months pregnant with our first baby. We're planning to get married after the baby arrives. It's not just the life I dreamed of, it's better. And I built it without them. My grandparents will be at the baby shower. They'll be there at the hospital when I give birth. They'll be part of my child's life, just like they've been a part of mine. They know everything, and they've never once betrayed my trust. But unfortunately, I still live in the same city as my parents. And sometimes the past catches up with you in the produce aisle. A few days ago, I went to the grocery store, just a regular day, running errands. I was near the vegetables when I suddenly spotted my mom standing a few feet away. My stomach dropped. I immediately turned away and tried to keep my distance, but she turned around and saw me. She rushed over like she was excited, like we hadn't gone years without speaking. She said my name, smiled, and started asking why I never call or visit. I stared straight ahead, pretending she wasn't even there. But then she looked down and noticed my baby bump. "Oh my God," she gasped, and without asking, she reached out and put her hand on my belly. I snapped. I slapped her hand away and said, "Don't put your ****king hands on me." Her smile faded, but she still had the audacity to say, "I can't wait to meet the baby. You should come over more often." I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "Not in a million years would I come back to hell." She flinched, then snapped, "Stop being rude." Like I was the one being unreasonable. I didn't even reply. I just walked out of the store.
Didn't buy anything.
Didn't look back. I went home and ordered groceries online. I couldn't stomach the idea of running into her again. Later that night, though, I started feeling conflicted. There's a part of me, the child inside me, that still aches, still wants a mom. I started wondering if I had gone too far. Was I cruel? Did I just disrespect the woman who gave birth to me? But then another part of me, the woman I've become, shook me out of it. Why should I feel guilty for setting boundaries? For protecting myself and my unborn child from someone who never protected me? Why is she allowed to touch me like we're close when she never once held me when I cried as a kid?
She didn't want me.
She made that painfully clear. So now she doesn't get me. Not me, not my life, not my child. Still, I can't help but wonder, am I the a-hole for refusing to let her back in? For cutting off people who should have loved me but didn't? For standing my ground, even when my heart feels heavy? Because I may feel bad, but I don't feel wrong.